Now, today's demo scenarios, like as I've mentioned off the top, is going to be around improving data security posture. So our persona today is a data security expert. We're looking at ways in which we can expose risk and manage that risk. So the primary pain for this persona is really being able to identify and mitigate risk as it relates to privacy, and really deal with the application and data sprawl or enterprise content sprawl. So in this scenario, our user is really looking for ways to improve security and privacy postures by automating the detection of sensitive information, really looking for ways to expose that risk across their data ecosystem. But in this case, we're going to focus specifically around OpenText Extended ECM. So you're going to see Jason walk you through a scenario where we're going to look at the breadth and depths of analysis we can do within Voltage. We're going to highlight specific files within Extended ECM, visualize that risk, and take some protective actions around that sensitive and personal data. And then we're going to show you how that information is updated within the Extended ECM system, both on the metadata side, enriching supplemental markings, and its metadata. So with that, I'm going to jump over to our Extended ECM environment. And as an Extended ECM user, I'm working within the sales section of Extended ECM. You'll notice that there are a number of different folders, and I'm going to go into the sales order section. And in the particular demonstration we're going to give today, we're going to focus on a set of files that we've set up under the Fusion OpenText world under Neil Johnson. So we've got a number of different users who have access to this particular location within Extended ECM. And inside of the order confirmation section, there's been some orders or information that have been added by one of our business users. Now you'll notice there's one here for credit card payment information, another file. But if we really look and dig into the credit card information, you'll notice that if we download this file and have a look, there's actually some personal information in here around Neil Johnson, his date of birth. There is his address, some sensitive information. But if you look down a little further, you'll see that credit card information is exposed within this document. So really, in a lot of cases, if you're looking to improve privacy, security posture, and ways to identify PII and sensitive information and protect that information, data discovery is a great way to be able to analyze data inside of Extended ECM and outside of Extended ECM. So Jason, over to you for your portion of the demo.
Thank you, Greg. Okay, we're going to use Voltage Fusion here to analyze our data with inside Extended ECM, and we're going to go actually connect to that data. We're going to show the high-level analysis, and then we're going to take some manage actions to mitigate the risk of that data. Okay, so let's jump straight in there. Voltage Fusion is a SaaS-based product, so it enables us to connect to Extended ECM. And now, although I've got multiple other data sources that I've analyzed here you can see I've got XECM at the top. We've asked it to do a full scan of that data at the host URL using our London agent cluster. And while I'm doing that, I'm doing a full scan, and pre-built into the system is a number of grammar rules that tell us to look for grammar sets based on a number of regulations. So I've asked it primarily to do the European GDPR regulation and the US customer privacy regulation, maybe some custom rules as well. So that gives us financial data, bank account numbers, credit cards example, also government IDs, driving licenses for many of the different countries. What we also want to do is, while we're analyzing this data and looking for this sensitive information, I perhaps want to take some mitigation risk to mask some of that data up. So if I show you in detail in the whole of the grammar rules that we built into the system, you will see that if I click on the countries here, the wide range of formats and countries that we support. Okay, so of course, driving license, social security numbers are very different in every different country. One particular thing that Greg highlighted was we want to be really careful about credit card numbers. So what we're going to do here is apply some masking rules. So when we see a credit card number, we're going to apply some masking rules to just keep the last 4 characters. So that analysis has all been done. Let's go and have a look at the results. We're going to switch now into the Analyze section. There's a few ways we can view these results. We could view this from a financial risk model. So we can see the impact based on our annual revenue and the amount of data that we've analyzed. We can see perhaps the likely, average, and perhaps maximum potential risk that sensitive data is to our organization. If we want to then drill down further, we can go and specifically look at where is that sensitive data inside those repositories. So let's look at the extended ECM system here, and it's all based on the London cluster, and it contains identification data, contact data, and financial data. So if we go and in particular look at the financial data and drill down into that, we can see this document here at the top that Greg was talking about. We've identified that it's got names, invoice numbers, credit cards, addresses, and email addresses. And here, while Greg was showing that this data was fully exposed, here we can see that we've masked that data up. So this is great from a reporting point of view, but now let's go through and take some actions on that data. So we'll now switch into the Manage section. There's a few ways that we can analyze this. We can do some management actions to perhaps clean up data. Maybe there's copies of that document that are held in file systems, separate areas, as well as the corporate record system. But let's go and do a risk assessment and protection action here. So we've got an open workspace to analyze the ECM system, and we're going to do a risk assessment and protection action inside this workspace. Inside the workspace, it shows us a timeline of where the data is. We can show how the extended ECM data has been tagged. We can see the majority of the information are partially sensitive data, but we can see our highly sensitive data, even though it's a low number. We can see that if that data has already been protected, let's look at the protection status, 0% of our data has been protected. So let's take some actions to control that. So let's first of all look at the categories. We've got financial data, we've got government IDs, contact data. We haven't got any specific medical data in there, but we've got some sensitive data, generally sensitive data. So we want to take this particular category, we want to take some actions on there. We do that through the workbook actions here. So let's have a look at the financial data. And here we've got 254 items that have got financial data. And there's a few different activities we can set. We can put things on legal holds. We can move to perhaps a section if it's in the wrong location. We can tie some protection labels. We can remove it. We can use encryption to do format preserving encryption of the data. We can mask the data like I was showing you in the previous section. Or we might want to just mark this up inside Extended ECM. So this is the action that we would take here. So we've already taken this action here to add the financial details properties back into ECM so you can see the results of that. So I'll pass back now to Greg and he can show you the results of that.
Back to the document that Jason was talking about with the payment invoice. Now, through the API, we've updated supplemental markings within the within Extended ECM. We've also added that it contains PCI, it contains PII, and potentially personal health information in terms of this particular workspace. So the information has been written back through our discovery capabilities and back through into the product from an Extended ECM standpoint. So if we look at what we've shown is the ability to use voltage fusion to analyze and classify enterprise content, really to surface up personal information, sensitive information, so organizations can improve security and privacy postures. So this is really going to help organizations not only extend the investment they've made in OpenText, but really find ways to operationalize privacy and overall improve their data security practices.